Hello, hello everyone. Welcome to today's edition of eMigr8 Open Day. Promises to be exciting. We're talking about relocation and settling down in the UK, how to land a job, how to get a job abroad. We have a guest speaker who has gone through the journey and gotten a job in the UK, and he will be telling us about his journey and helping us understand some of the tricks, some of the important information we need to have handy to be able to navigate the job system in the UK, to be able to maximize all the opportunities that the UK has to offer. So sit back. If you have your friends who are interested in this conversation, please send them a reminder, send them a text, send them a call, and please place a call, and just to let them know they should be here. And we're talking about landing a job in the UK, just paraphrasing, right? I will start the conversation shortly, but first I'll run through some of the housekeeping things that will need you to have good knowledge of. So landing a tech job as a UK global talent, right? And that's what we're talking about today. So remember, eMigr8, what we do is to make you globally attractive, right? And we tailor your CV, we tailor your job experience and your job skill sets to make you globally attractive. Now, once you're globally attractive, the next thing is I want a job, especially for those who are looking at the UK as a viable market to go, right? So we have a coach in the house, Mr. Isaac Oladipo. He'll be telling us about his journey. First of all, how he got global talent. So we're also looking at global talent today, but the main focus will be on landing a job. So he will do global talent visa route and settling in the UK and getting a job in the UK. All right. So first, eMigr8. Like I said before, eMigr8 focused on tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. That's our focus. The key word there is tech, right? So eMigr8 is not yet focusing on the student route or healthcare route, which are all good routes, by the way. We're just focusing on where our strength is, which is technology, right? So enabling relocation through tech pathways. That's what we are focusing on. Today, we'll be looking at, like I said, landing a tech job. Again, the key word is a tech job as a global talent. So we're going to be talking about tech job, the tech ecosystem in the UK generally, and that'll be our focus. And that's what we're talking about today. Okay. There are other tips you can get. Please do use the chat room to ask questions once the conversation starts. And if you have any question, pop them in the chat room. We will have about 20 minutes to go through the question. So if you have any question, don't wait to the end. Just as the question comes to you, please put it in the chat room. All right. Again, tech-enabled visa opportunities we're looking at. But don't forget that for you to be able to get this tech-enabled visa opportunity, you have to be globally attractive. So again, being in tech, being globally attractive should be the primary focus. Then tech-enabled visa opportunity oftentimes are the bonuses that people get. Right. We have previous editions of eMigr8. We have a huge and a good catalog of past editions on YouTube. So with a simple YouTube search, Google search, you'll find our videos talking about various topics. How to relocate to the US, for example, getting an US O1 visa, how to relocate to as a tech talent, by the way, how to migrate, I should use the word migrate, to the UK using skilled workers visa, using global tech visa, and how to relocate to Australia using the Australian global talent visa, how to relocate to Canada using the startup route. We've had loads of conversation around these countries, what they're offering, and some of the changes that they have introduced over time, right? So if you go through our catalog of video, we have rich information for you. So do share with your community. I tell people, if you're going to go through this route, you have to be ready to be studious, to read what video, understand what people have done, because a lot of people have left clues on podcasts, on Twitter, on even articles on Medium, what they have done. And also here at eMigr8, we have a rich ecosystem that's very vibrant, where we share successes, challenges, what people are facing, the difficulties, and we have coaches that help you navigate those process, right? So I encourage everyone here to, if you have not already done that, sign up for the eMigr8 community. We have a WhatsApp community. We have a Telegram community. We also have a LinkedIn community. Anyone that best suits you. They are active. You can ask questions. You can book a session or an appointment with a coach within the community just to understand your peculiarity, right? Because during the open day, we talk generally, but you might have specific journey that you want to be able to curate. We have coaches that can work with you through those journey. Next editions, coming editions, for those that are interested, we'll be looking at UK Innovator Founder Visa route, right? Which is where you can relocate your startup, your business, your idea to the UK as a founder. There's a visa route, a 3-year visa route that is open to renewal or extension, I should say, right? I'll be talking about that in the coming editions. We also have UK Tech Nation Visa, which is global talent. We're talking about that. Move to the US as a global talent is something we're in the pipeline that I want to visit once again. And session around Canadian startup visa, the French tech visa. So stay glued. Look out for our newsletters, look out for our publicity materials across all social media platforms to get information, and also be part of the community. Generally, people in the community get first-hand information when these editions will be holding, right? A little more about eMigr8. I said before, tech-enabled visa route. What is eMigr8? It's a platform where we help you become globally attractive. That's eMigr8. It's what we are building. What we have built, I should say. It's a platform that helps you become globally attractive. We look at tech profile. We look at tech-enabled businesses, and we help them appraise them, and help them become globally attractive by giving them the tools that we know about, information that we know about, and we use that, and you can leverage on those to get global talent visa, get across many nations, right? Like we say within the ecosystem, the visa is only a side effect of the objective. The objective is to make you globally attractive. When you're globally attractive, you have options, to choose from. There are people in the communities and the extended eMigr8 community that have talent visa to the US and to UK, and even some have multiple talent visas that they choose and they leverage on where they want to stay. So the idea is don't focus so much on the visa, even though we know a lot of people are looking out for how to migrate, but focus more on becoming globally attractive. And the effect of that is also seamlessly landing a job. I will talk about that when our guest speaker come on board today, right? Okay. We at eMigr8, what do we do at eMigr8, and what do you stand to benefit if you are in our ecosystem? What are the eMigr8 services that you can benefit from? We have information sessions. We have general inquiry. Both of them can be fitted into what we're doing today, which is open day, where we generally give out information and we generally ask questions, general inquiries, and they get answers to the best of our knowledge, right? Remember, we are not an immigration lawyer. We're just sharing our journey and journey of people that has gone through our platform, the tricks, the hints, and the tips, I should say, that you can use to navigate the process, right? That's been tested and has shown result over time. That's what we're sharing, right? And it also information coming from home office, coming from the regulatory bodies, coming from the endorsing body, real-time information coming from the endorsing body. Those are what we are sharing, right? So we still need you to do your work to verify this information. We still need you to do some work to go through and just to verify that what we're saying is correct, right? And you're not just what we're saying is correct, right? So coaching and hand-holding session, it's something that you would benefit from in the part of the eMigr8 services, self-directed roadmap to qualifying for a tech-enabled visa. It's something that you have access to within the eMigr8 community. Roadmap to becoming globally attractive, looking at your profile as a tech entrepreneur or tech enthusiast, right? We can curate that and we can walk through a given time frame to be able to achieve that, right? Dependent on your commitment, because we have the coaches who are committed to those process. For example, we focus on global talent visas. We review global talent, UK global talent visa application, and we also review endorsement review process, right? So if it sounds like anything that you're looking for or looking to know more about, right, please join the eMigr8 community. We will put the link to the community within the chat, so you can click on to join. Now, within the community, we have the free what's it called now, the free packages, and we have the premium packages, right? So free packages, again, information sessions like this is free, where you can get information and you can get inspiration from the speaker of the day and how he navigated the system. eMigr8 community is free to be part of the eMigr8 community, right? Monthly open day, which is one of what we're having now. Also, we have introductory videos. We have eMigr8 open consultation. These are free. We have visa-specific hours consultations. We have sessions that focuses on short inquiries, which is limited to 10 minutes. We can ask specific questions that you want clarity on, and those are free also within the eMigr8 packages that we offer. If you're interested in that, we have a link, beacom.net/eMigr8. eMigr8 is with the figure 8, right? So you can go on that link. It's a short form you fill, just state what the intent, and we'll get back to you. We also have the premium for people that are, a bit advanced or, pressed for time and you want a bit of premium services. So we have the eMigr8 Circle. It's a premium community. We have personalized coaching session, which run between 30 minutes to 1 hour. We have standard package, reviews and introduction. These are all part of the eMigr8 premium service. We have the eMigr8 custom service, where we can build specific customer service around your schedule or around your skill set, around your talent, to be able to appraise it, right? So those are available at a premium, right? And again, if you go to eMigr8, beacom.net/eMigr8, you would be able to leave us with an information, and we'll get back to you pending whether you want the freemium or the premium model. Our coaches will advise in which direction you should go, depending on your time and what you're trying to achieve, right? eMigr8 packages, like I said before, include move to the UK as a global talent. That is, the country of focus there is the United Kingdom, and the visa type is global talent, which is technician endorsement visa, technician visa. We also have moved to the UK as an innovator founder, and that is also United Kingdom, and the focus is for startup or founders. Of it is the focus, and here we are focusing on the US O1 visa for individuals with exceptional ability or achievement. Keyword is extraordinary ability. But what I need you to know is that if you sit down and appraise yourself properly, you'll find that you've done some extraordinary things. You haven't, in general, most of the time, we haven't just appraised them correctly. And these are some of the things our coaches can help you highlight. Some of the things that you have done in the tech ecosystem that are exceptional. We can help you highlight those, help you figure them out, help you, bring them to life, right? And you can apply for this visa. So it's not the word extraordinary should not throw you out of qualification or say, oh, I don't qualify for that. You should give it a review, a think, and at the very least, speak to a coach before you decide not to. Move in 2023, right, which is tech-enabled visa pathway to explore across the UK, the US, Canada, France, Germany, and other European countries like Portugal now will have digital nomad visas, right? And depending on the uniqueness of your of circumstance or what you want to achieve, we can have conversations around those and advise to the best of our knowledge with information out there how to go about those processes. Then the UK tech-enabled visa pathways, which come with certificates of sponsorship. That's also for the United Kingdom. This is focused on UK skilled workers, and we tend to focus more on the tech environment, the tech ecosystem for the UK skilled workers. So these are the links to the eMigr8 community. We have WhatsApp link. We'll share it again on the chat, and the Telegram link, the Facebook link, LinkedIn, any one of these platforms that you are more frequent in or you find more easy to use, right? We are there. And also the YouTube link where you can watch our videos. But what we ask is that you engage this channels, you ask questions, you comment, you like, you share, right? A lot of participants have won free coaching session by just being active in these groups, right? So you want to take advantage of that opportunity, right? eMigr8 is brought to you by Bincom. It was incubated by Bincom Dev Center, and Bincom Dev Center have other services that would make you globally attractive. One of them is the Bincom Global Tech Program, where you can start your journey, right, as a tech entrepreneur or a tech enthusiast from the foundation, beginner level, up to being a full stack developer, if that's what you're looking for or looking towards. And one of the three main pillars of the Bincom Global Tech Program is learn skills, gain experience, and gain exposure. Those are the three main pillars, right? So and it's a program that runs for I think 12 months, 6 months to about 14 months, depending on your schedule, right? We can work around those, and focuses on beginner level and intermediate level, right? And if you're interested in that, if that sounds like, or somebody that should be on that program, Bincom.net /global tech is where you want to go to, right? And you'll find just a short form that introduces you, basically want to know who you are, and take the conversation forward. All right, it's a good place to start, especially for tech enthusiasts. People looking to switch roles or switch career and get into tech from other fields. So you want to share this link with them if they're not here, or if you have the one, you want to click on this link and start your journey right away. We also have become a tech talent. We offer tech training to individuals and corporates. We also have individual tech career coaching sessions. We have tech apprenticeship with, linking with tech apprenticeship opportunity with companies in the UK, right? Giving references, right? And also with other feature benefits, depending on your skill sets and depending on your skill set and what you and your exposure. And there are different opportunities that are available within Bincom Dev Center. And I asked that if you are a professional already, you have spent more than 3 years in tech, either building software or managing software, you want to go to bincom.net /global tech, or send a message to the number right on the flyer right there on the slide, right? And we can take the conversation forward. We are able to give you references and put you forward for apprenticeship for UK companies in the UK looking for do I have an apprenticeship role. This will help you get an experience of how to work within the UK ecosystem and just get you in the door of working in the UK environment, So it's a fantastic one. It comes with a fee. A full package is discounted at £1,000 for 3 months. So you want to, inquire more about that, please use the phone number there and send a WhatsApp message to that number or a text message to that number, and we will take the conversation forward with you. All right. Other services from Bincom Dev Centers, we have mentorship platform for both mentees and mentors. So one of the things that the tech ecosystem need are mentors, right? We have a lot of tech enthusiasts, a lot of AI enthusiasts, a lot of data enthusiasts, they want to build a career, but we need leadership. We need people to be able to point us in the right direction, right? And we have a platform, a tech Bincom mentoring platform, where you can sign in as a mentee and we'll connect you to a mentor, or you can sign in as a mentor. You've been in the field 10 years, 15 years, and you're looking for an opportunity to give back, right? We can sign you up on the platform and connect you to a mentee in your specific area of interest, right? Or in your specific area of interest. So if you're a data analyst, we'll pair you with a data analyst. If you are a business analyst, we'll pay you with a business analyst. So the platform is open. We'll share the links on the chat so that anybody interested in the mentorship, I think everybody should be interested, because in the room today, I think we're divided into mentees and mentors already. So, becoming globally attractive is asking people ahead and what they have done and what you need to do to position yourself rightly. And it's only natural and it's only beneficial for you who are already globally attractive to pay it forward by mentoring enthusiasts within the ecosystem, right? So take advantage of that. Other services, last by Bincom, this is a very interesting one, and this speaks to people who are in the service industry, especially in tech service industry. You are not building a software product, or you've not built a product before. You're just, software, you're in the service industry, maybe an IT professional, but you have never built it. You have never been involved in building a software product, right? This is a fantastic opportunity for you, because most of the visa opportunity would ask you, what software product have you built? Most are centered around digital products, right? So you need to be able to show that you've built a product, you've been part of building a product. What Labs by Bincom help you do is to put you in a cohort where we choose, in the cohort, you guys choose to build a specific product from ideation to market feeds, to markets, to launch, generally. And it's a 3 to 6 months program where you and your team, typically a team consists of 3 to 10 people. You create a startup from scratch, brainstorm on an idea, do your market research on the idea, and go through, the product life cycle of that idea, make sure everything is checked, then you launch it. Then you can put that in your portfolio, right? You can put that in your portfolio as part of a project that you have built, and you can put that forward when you're applying for tech-enabled visa opportunity. It's a fantastic one. So if you work in a bank and you have maybe in the tech department in a bank and you've never built a product, you can use the opportunity with Bincom, Labs by Bincom, to build or be involved in building a product, have its first-hand experience in building a product. All right. We also have tech career coaching service, for tech employment and recruitment services for individuals, right? So if you're looking to land, a tech role within your present market or in a different market, the tech career coaching service speaks to you specifically. And today's session, we'll touch on some of the opportunities and how to land, today's session is how to land a tech role, a tech job in the UK. So it speaks partly to these services, right? Building relevant experience in your target country, connections with tech recruiters in your target countries, job within work visa work visa sponsorship, again, in your target country. We have coaches who can handhold you through this process, and teach. Every country has their uniqueness on what they look out for. Some countries are more focused on your achievements. Some countries are more focused on your qualifications. So you need to know, what do you highlight in your CV if you're applying for a job in Canada? What do you highlight in your CV if you're applying for a job in the US or in the UK? There are fine lines that separate them, But if you don't know, you don't know. You need people in those fields to be able to educate you on what to do, right? So baincom.net / tech career coaching is the web page you want to go to sign up for that. And we will progress the conversation within that, within the ecosystem, the Baincom ecosystem. All right. I've talked about these visas opportunities and this visa route. So for those that are just joining, I'll just run through them quickly. We in the UK, we focus on startup visas, right? We focus on innovator visa. We focus on global talent visa, which is popularly known as technician. We focus on skilled workers routes, particularly for tech entrepreneurs, tech and tech experts, right? In the US, we focus on the O1 and EB visas, EB1 and EB2 visas in the US. In Canada, we focus on startup visas. When I say we focus on, we have coaches within eMigr8 platform that can take you on this visa, coach you across, this visa platform specific to the UK, specific to the US. And we have videos, in the past that we've done highlighting how to navigate the US, UK, visa, tech visa route. So you want to start from there, check our YouTube pages and go through those videos. But we have coaches that can handhold you for specific, if you have specific questions, and if you want to also have a roadmap specific tailored for you, we have coaches that would be able to walk you through those. We also have European startup visas. There are a lot of digital nomad visas now across the across Europe, from Spain to Portugal, I think to the Netherlands now. There are, tech nomad visas are available for some, for a visa opportunity to move to the country for 1 year, and you can get extension. For others, it can run as far as 5 years, depending on the platform, the visa type you're applying for. So yeah, take advantage of the opportunity. This list is not exhaustive. We just summarized, others. We have Europe there, so we can break it down to your specific experience or what you are looking at for specifically. Right. One of the things that I need to mention to you across the visa routes that we focus on, right? One, we want to make it globally attractive, and that's the common denominator across them, right? You have to be globally attractive. You have to be able to get a job within the market that you're going to, right? You have to be able to show that you have done XYZ, right, within your own market, and this is what you're going to do in the market that you're applying for if you choose to relocate into that ecosystem or that market. So the common denominator across it is the fact that we have to appraise you to the point where you are globally attractive. Again, the visa opportunities for tech-enabled pathway usually are very family friendly, so you can move with your family. It's also a pathway to settlement. It's not connected to the student route, where it's not a pathway to settlement. Most of the tech routes are often pathway to settlement. So we focus on only tech-enabled opportunities. I don't know if you've paid attention to the news lately, specifically to the UK immigration rules. There have been changes in immigration laws in the UK where you are not able to switch visas from being a student, right, till you are done with your studies. And those rules have introduced some stringent times, I should say, within students in the UK, immigrants who are students in the UK, because they are facing new challenges. But with tech-enabled pathway, those challenges are not there, right? Because you are moving as an expert, you're moving as an expert, as a tech expert, you're moving, to a market that respects your talent and are looking for your talent. Don't mistake it. The UK, the US are all looking for your talent, right? They need people with your skill set. They need people with your gift set to be able to come in and drive their talent and drive their ecosystem and their economy forward. And also, eMigr8 opportunities, which are tech-enabled visa, are beginner friendly, right? So you can pace yourself. You can jump, have a short roadmap, 6 to 12 months. This is what I want to do, and these are the roadmap, highlight what you want to do. And with a coach, we can walk you through that process, right? And again, the list is inexhaustive because your peculiarity and your uniqueness will determine how we can best work with you. So yeah, I've shared a lot of link, beingcom.net/tech global tech is a good place to go to and start the journey. But however, we would be having a session today where we have Isaac. I don't know if Isaac is on the call yet, and Isaac is going to share his journey with us to show us how we qualify, right? Because a lot of people will look at what I've just gone through and say, well, I don't qualify. But just take your time, listen to Isaac. If you have questions, please put it in the chat. He's going to go through the questions when he's done. Where do I begin, for example? I believe Isaac is going to share a story where he began, where he started from, where he began, and you can draw inspiration from him, right? You should be able to ask questions also about things you need to do and what you have done, right? And that is why we have put together this session, right? To be able to equip you for the journey. And this session the theme today is landing a tech job as a UK global talent, right? Hi, Isaac. You're mute.
Hey, Mudiago, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So Isaac is a senior product marketing manager and CEO at Afrilen. He's the recipient of the UK Global Talent, right? And so he is one person that knows the pathway because he has gone through it and he can share his journey. And so please take out your sheet of paper. He was going to be saying it out, so write down. If you have a notepad, jot down. If you have questions, please put it in the chat. So Isaac, I'm going to hand over to you now.
All right, thank you very much, Budiaga. That was a thorough introduction, both of Bincom and of course this session as well. Well done, and great work you guys are doing. Of course, also heard a couple of testimonials from this platform, so fantastic job, well done. All right, so we'll dive straight into the topic for today. Of course, it's not really a topic, it's actually I won't treat it as one. I would say it's a story. Basically, just telling my story, how I got here, because, and I'm of course telling that story, and I'm telling that story for one particular reason. The major reason why I'm sharing this story is because the story is not peculiar. There's nothing peculiar about it. Anybody can do it. All you need to do is learn exactly how some of us have been able to do it, just like we also learn from other people that went before us, and then rinse and repeat, and then you've got your, yours as well. All right. So I'll basically be sharing my story today with everyone here. My name is Isaac. I don't think I need much introduction anymore. He's mentioned everything. So basically, but what I'm going to share really is how I got started. And by the time we're done today, many of us here would realize that you actually qualify for some of these things more than you imagine, right? So today I work as a product marketer. I work in products. I work for technology companies, right? But I actually started out about 8 to 10 years ago as a journalist. My first job was a journalist. I was working in Nigeria as a journalist. So while I was in school, basically, I was one of those people that read a lot of books while growing up. I would say that I was very fortunate to have some very good cliques. I had the right kind of friends. We read a lot of books growing up. Also kind of a church boy, So growing up with that kind of lifestyle, by the time I was in my teenage years, I had written and published a very small book. I was in school then. My first degree I had in Lagos State University, the best university in Africa, LASU. So if you're LASUite here, I hail you. All right. So basically, while I was schooling in LASU, I studied a course called management technology, right? It's a 5 years course. And then while I was doing that course, I think when I was in 200 level, I published that book because I wrote a lot, and I read a lot of books, inspirational books, and all of that. I didn't like the course I was studying particularly. So that's basically helped me I was just consuming books. And interestingly, the book I published in 200 level found its way into the hands of a major publisher in Nigeria. If I mention the name, most of us would know it's Genevieve Magazine, Betty Rabo, and then long story short, I got a call and I got employed while I was in 200 level. So I was earning a lot of money back then in school. While my mates were in class, I would be working. I was working full time, and then when I get back from work, and then I was traveling from Ojo, Lasso Ojo to the island every day, so that's basically how I started, journalists, right? And then today I'm in tech. So irrespective of the career or whatever it is you had today, it's one of the easiest things to do, to be very candid, right? And then from there, I moved into digital marketing. I did digital marketing for an organization, not even a tech organization, actually, a non-profit organization. If I mention the name, also most of us will know it. So I ventured into that. And then there, of course, I like to pour myself into whatever I do, so I was able to actually achieve a lot of, like, we made some impacts, quite disruptive actually, in terms of course, it was actually Daystar. Some of us might know Daystar here. I grew the online audience from about 20,000 to over 500,000, within 3 years, right? Also verified them across board. We were one of the people that introduced these bite-sized videos that many people do now, many churches do now, so that's basically my background, right? And then so when I left there, I left there because I was co-founding an edtech company, which is Afrilen, as is rightly said. Yeah. So from there, I basically co-founded. Of course, I've always been passionate about people having access to education, because growing up, I grew up in a neighborhood where, of course, my parents were able to sacrifice a lot to get me good education. But many of my friends that I really loved, when I visit that neighborhood today, I still see them doing exactly what they used to do decades ago, majorly due to lack of education, and that's the reality for many young Africans across the continent, like we all know, right? So that's basically my story, right? Now, fast forward, left Daystar and then founded Afrilen with a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. And then, of course, we started building Afrilen, and Afrilen basically took off, got some really good recognition. And then we also, grew quite fast. Right now, of course, Afrilen is easily the number one gamified learn-to-earn platform in Nigeria, right? But we've not always been here. It started very small. Actually started with a platform that basically did past questions and solutions and all that, right? So that's also to say that if you want to start a tech startup, it's not rocket science. You don't have to have raised millions of dollars. You can just start with what you've got, really. So that's how we started Afrilen, myself and my friends. And then gradually we started getting support funding here and there. Last year we got some good funding, from UNICEF, in equity free as well, right? Because we started, right? So I would also end that story there. So how did I get into the Global Talent visa, right? So while we were building and getting all these awards, I kept having different people telling me, Isaac, apply for this Global Talent, you qualify and all of that. Of course, I have a very strong passion and love for Nigeria. I still do, would always do, right? But of course, you know how it is now, got to that point where this insecurity issues, all these issues, I just wanted my family to be in a good place. So I decided to relocate my family. Now, the destination was not even UK, it was Canada, so I organized to have my wife study in Canada, and then we can use that route. While we're doing that, I also got provincial nomination, but we lost it because my wife's admission had started, so they don't want competing provinces, if you understand that part. So long story short, of course, we got into Canada and, and all of that. And while I was processing all of that, I just decided to say, okay, all these guys disturbing me about Global Talent, let me just put in for it. The first time I went to the platform, actually, which is the fourth thing I would actually advise, I disqualified myself automatically. I'm like, this is not for me. You know, when I saw the requirements, the criteria, all those things, you know, I just thought it was not for me. But of course, after several prompting from people, I was like, okay, well, I don't have anything to lose. You know, it's just 4, 5, 6 pounds. So I did apply, and a little over a week, actually, it was less than 2 weeks, I got endorsed. I was shocked, right? But Canada was there already waiting for me. So went to Canada. But long story short, I won't go into details of that. When I compared both countries, of course, UK was better in many ramifications, family-wise, salary-wise, in different areas, really. So settled for the UK, and then that's how I got here, right? So that is, I will talk about the process shortly, or maybe I should go into that in terms of how I apply. So how do you apply for the global talent visa? I will basically delve into that in like 5-10 minutes so that we can then go into the job side of things, right? So global talent visa, in summary, really is for the brightest and best talents. Why are they doing it? I usually tell people that when you know the purpose for which, you know, they brought out this program, it helps you to position yourself accordingly, really. You know, the reason why the UK is doing global talent visa is not because they are very generous, right? It's because they are trying to position themselves as one of the world's leaders in technology. And how do you do that as a country? The country that has the best, brightest, and the most talent, you know, in technology definitely, you know, takes leadership. So that's exactly what they're trying to do. So, and they're trying to do that using one of their most in-demand products, which is what immigration. So if you want to get the visa, what do? You position yourself as the best thing that has ever happened to tech in your country, right? So, and if, of course, if you're applying, what did I do? I basically put my document together. Of course, I remember taking a break from work. I went to lodge somewhere, and then I took like 2 days to put all my documents together. By the time I was actually done, I was shocked that I had done so much, you know? So it really requires you putting together 15 different documents that are classified into 4 categories, right? Category 1, your personal statements, which should be 1,000 words, 3 A4 pages, right? Number 2, your CV also should not be more than 3 pages, should be less than 1,000 words. Every document you're submitting basically must not be more than 3 pages and must not go beyond 1,000 words. So you have your personal statement, like I said, your CV, making 2, and then you would need 3 recommendation letters, you know, from established tech leaders, right? So of course, that's where you want to leverage your relationships as much as possible. And then lastly, you would need your pieces of evidence. So here you're required to submit 10 different pieces of evidence, you know. So, and 4 of them would be, some of them will be mandatory criteria, and then some of them will be optional criteria, right? Now, for the mandatory criteria, when you go to the Tech Nation website, you see all the details there, you know, and I'm sure if you want to go ahead with this, you can always talk to the guys at Bincom, right? So that's what I did. And then, of course, remember I said, when I was about to apply, I was scared. I doubted myself, right? So do not let imposter syndrome get you, just put in for it. By the time, what I usually advise is, if you want to apply, you know, the hack that I tell people, and that has really worked for a lot of people, is first of all, sit down. Especially if you've been in tech for quite a while, sit down and then list all the companies you work for so far. Every single organization you've worked for, list them one after the other. The first company, second company, third company, and all of that. Then list the most significant impacts or results that you drove while you were at that company. So for instance, maybe you've worked as a digital marketer or product marketer for a company, you know, the first company. List all the things that you did that led to the growth of that company, or that led to the innovation an innovative thing that company did, you know, or whatever it is. Just list them out. By the time you list them out, then go to the Tech Nation website and begin to see which of the criteria falls into some of the things that you've done. That way, you'll be able to, you know, arrange your documents accordingly, because it's all about having a strategy. Once you have your strategy, look at all the documentations and then begin to put them together. Of course, I also have videos on YouTube that address that succinctly. So, but for the purpose of our time today, I'm going to be delving more on getting a job as a global talent in the UK. Good. So, fast forward as well again. I got into the UK And of course, getting into the UK, I was quite unsure exactly what to expect, because of course, thankfully I had a friend in one of the areas, right, where I finally settled. But getting into the UK, the first week, I didn't have a job. Second week, I didn't have a job. But of course, before I actually got in, I decided to follow a particular strategy, and that's why I love strategy a lot, So if I'm going through any challenge, one of the best things I like to do is just sit down and craft a plan, So craft it. Now, it might not be it doesn't have to be a perfect plan, but at least have a plan. When you have a plan, of course, you get to have a lot of ideas. So I sat down and then I crafted a plan. What was the plan? Very simple. I had heard so many stories, people getting to the UK, no job and all of that. I didn't want that to be my story. And of course, there's also this assumption that because you're a global talent, jobs are waiting for you. It's not true, right? When you get into the UK, you still have to look for a job for yourselves, right? So the best way to go about it is to have a strategy. Very simple. Now, what was my strategy? First, I decided exactly the role that I wanted. Now, remember, I told you I didn't have a tech background. The only tech background I had upon that time was being a founder of AfriLearn, right? But beyond that, I had not worked for any tech company officially, So what did I do? I asked myself simple questions, what do I have? What have I got, right? Because it's all about value, really, essentially. So, and of course, my response was very simple. I have a strong background in marketing. I have phenomenal results in marketing. Remember, I said I grew an organization's account from about 20,000 to over 500,000 within 3 years. So I know marketing very well. Secondly, I built a product, a product has won international awards, right? So if you had those two things together, what does that give me? Product marketing. So I decided to go, and product marketing is one of the most in-demand skills in tech today, right? So I decided to go for product marketing. Now, what did I do? I went for some certifications, I went to learn, I learned like crazy, right? And because of that, of course, I was all set to go, really. So that was the first thing. So I decided the role I wanted to go in, and then I strategized on basically upskilling myself in that role, right? Got some more certifications, read widely about it, because when you are doing interviews, it's not just about having been confirmed for interviews. If you are not speaking the terms of that role, you're not likely to get selected, or even if you get selected for the first stage, you're not likely to move to the other stages. All right. So that's one of the first things that I did, because ultimately one of the mistakes I see people make is they are trying to search for multiple roles, and then searching for multiple roles will make your search very hard, because employers are looking for people who are focused, who have focused experience, like who are the best. So, for instance, if you are the owner of a company and you're looking you want to employ a product manager, you're not looking for a product manager that has 1 year experience in products marketing and that experience in business analysis. You want somebody who is the best at product management, right? And that's exactly why you need to narrow down your focus. That's one. Second thing I did was to update and optimize my CV and my LinkedIn profile, right? Now, there's an art to this, actually. It's not just about putting your pictures up and then putting all your job descriptions. No, there is a whole art to this. I have a video on this as well on YouTube. If you just Google Isaac Africa, you'll find them there. But I'll say a few things about this. So first and foremost, if you are looking for a job in the UK or any of this developed world, one of the first things you need to do, because I see some CVs and I just smile. First, you need to remove your date of birth, your address, your references from your CV. Those things actually can form biases, in the minds of some employers. So you need to take out all of those things. That's one. Number two, when you're optimizing your CV and your LinkedIn as well, you want to list. Another mistake I see people make extensively is they have a fantastic CV, fantastic experience, but you are listing out your job descriptions. It's the wrong way to go about looking for a job or securing a job in the UK, right? So what you want to do is you want to take that CV and you want to update and upgrade it. So everything that forms a job, because job descriptions are basically generic. Anybody can perform a job description, right? What people want to see on your CV is not a job description. What employers want to see on your CV are outcome-based accomplishments, So instead of having tasks on your CV, under each role, you want to have your top accomplishments and your impact, your results, your numbers. So I'll give an example. So you want to say something like, define product metrics and blah, blah, blah. That's generic. That's a job description. Anybody can hone that on their CV. But what you want to put, if you've done that before and you've achieved results, what you want to put is a defined product metrics that led to blah, blah, blah growth, or blah, blah, blah number of user base growth, and whatever it is, you get what I mean? So that's another thing you want to do to optimize and update your CV. Now, the third thing is that you want to personalize your CV and your LinkedIn profile based on that job. So for each job, even though you're applying for a particular role, each job would also have their own specification in terms of what they are looking for, based on the vision of that organization or that company, right? So you want to personalize them, because people are actually looking for people that share their values, share their vision, shares the passion for that particular role, right? Yeah. So so these are some of the things, and then of course there is also something that you need to do. The third strategy is to upload your CV on the top job sites. Well, I didn't do much of this, to be candid. None of these job sites worked for me when I was applying, but it's still part of something that you can do. I did put my CV there, but I ended up turning off all of them, right? So, but it's still a strategy that worked for other people, right? So what you want to do is you want to create a profile and upload your CV on the top job sites. That if you're in the UK, for instance, you're looking for a job in the UK, there are loads of them. There is Indeed. Beyond LinkedIn, there is Indeed. There is Glassdoor, there is Total Jobs, there is CV Library, there is Monster, there is Reed, there is Ketra, there is Adzuna, Working Startups, lots of them really. So imagine having your CV across all these platforms, because what happens is there are also recruiting agencies that go on these platforms, and then they pick your information and reach out to you directly, right? So and at the end of the day, that was actually how I got my job. It was from a recruiting agency that must have found my profile either on LinkedIn or one of those platforms. Good. Now, the fourth thing you want to do is you want to update your LinkedIn profile, right? That's beyond your CV. There's your CV, but your CV is a document that is with you, static with you, or probably on your Google Drive. But what you want to do, the profile that works for you while you are sleeping is your LinkedIn, and people are searching 24/7. In fact, people are searching for you while you are sleeping in other countries, right? So your CV is like a living version of you online while you're sleeping or eating. So you want it to be optimized to the best manner possible. So how do you do this? First thing is you need to have the right keywords for the job that you're looking for. So there are keywords that are specific to certain jobs. So if you're a product manager, for instance, there are certain keywords that you must use that are different from the keywords that a product marketer or a data analyst would use, right? So, and all you need to do is find those keywords. These keywords would have to be based on your job description, and tailor your resume, your LinkedIn profile to include those keywords in strategic areas, the job functions, your profile title, basically, just ensure that you have those keywords strategically placed across your job roles and on every other place that matters on your LinkedIn, right? Now, when a job has hundreds of applicants, what recruiters do is they usually search their database using these keywords. Now, the candidates that have those keywords will be the first people that they will get to call, right? So each bullet point has to be relevant for the job that you're applying for, and arranged from the most relevant to the least relevant possible. So I found this extremely helpful. Trust me. The first job that I got when I got to the UK, I actually got 3 offers in 3 weeks. Right. Remember, I told you the first week there was no job. As a matter of fact, when I got into the place where I arrived, they were telling me that, man, a friend of mine, because he had a wife, was telling me that, man, even the wife that has been looking for a job for quite a while, she doesn't get as much into. I was doing interviews back to back to back. and that was because I decided that I was going to give it all it takes. So I was applying to close to 20 jobs on a daily basis, right? So when you do that, and that's why I said, you need to have a strategy. The number of jobs you also apply for on a daily basis is part of your strategy. Deciding the exact role you want, optimizing your CV, uploading your CV across job sites that listed earlier, optimizing your LinkedIn profile, how many jobs you apply for on a daily basis, right? And then there's also a way to optimize your job alert on LinkedIn as well. So for instance, LinkedIn actually allows you to set 20 job alerts for your desired role, at different organizations. So you need to find that feature. If you Google it, you find it. The video I have on YouTube also address. So I basically show exactly how to do that on that video. If I find a link, maybe I'll share it afterwards, right? So set those job alerts, and then all you've got to do is turn on. Once you've said that, you should also turn on private recruiter notification. So if you go to your profile, for instance, on LinkedIn, and then you go to your profile settings, privacy data, then there's this privacy under job seeking preferences. So what you do is you turn on the signal interests to recruiters as companies you've created alert for. So what this does is that whenever there's a job opening in those companies that you've created alert for, it will basically signal you automatically, right? So share your profile also when you click apply for a job automatically. So this way you also get to use technology to your advantage. You are automating the process of getting a job, right? So, and then the other thing to also do, which was another thing that I did, was I went online and I searched for the lists of all tech companies in the UK. I think that there was also a list that has to do with fintech companies in the UK. There are like 2 lists like that. I think I have those links on that video as well, right? So apply to all the companies you desire to work with in the UK. So now there are those 2 lists that basically have, I think they have like about 1,000 companies actually in the UK. There are 1,000, the largest 1,000 companies in the UK, right? So there's that list. So what I did, one of the things I did was I had that list open on my system, and I was applying to every single company on a daily basis. Of course, those ones that have the job, the kind of job that I was looking for, right? And before I was even halfway, I had gotten loads and loads of interviews. So I was just answering interviews on a daily basis. And at the end of 3 weeks, I had 3 offers in my email, and I went for the best, of course, as you expect, right? So these are some of the things that I did, when I was job hunting, and they were extremely, extremely helpful in landing the role. As a matter of fact, the first role I landed was a role in London, and then I had to transport there. I was not looking for that kind of role, but I was extremely excited because it was the first role I got, and I think it was 50,000 pounds, right? I was super excited. And then the day I was supposed to respond to them, I got the other offer, which was a whole lot more actually, a whole lot more. And then secondly, that offer was a remote role, right? It was like a dream job, really. It was a senior role as well, right? So painfully, even though I really liked really liked the person I was going to be working with. We had bonded to a large extent. I went there, did a presentation. The first time I went there, I couldn't, because I was during COVID. They said they tested me for COVID, and then I was positive. It was a medical research firm then, and I also don't like to see blood particularly. So I didn't like that part, but I was looking forward to working with them. I also didn't like the fact that I had to take train, like 2 or 3 times a week. I just wanted a remote role, right? So I remember refusing that offer, and then they increased the salary to, I think, 55. And then it was the day I was supposed to accept that the other offer came, which just blew everything, So I had to turn it down respectfully, and then went for that, And then even after I received that offer, I kept getting calls, and I kept turning down people. In fact, I had to refer some of them to some friends, right? So getting a job abroad or in the UK is not rocket science, to be very candid. And I should also say this though, I also prayed, right? Yeah. So I am a believer, and I believe there is a part that grace plays, right, in this journey called life. Yeah. So I ultimately prayed, and all of this together. I mean, if you have faith, you have to also have to hard work to that faith, right? So I believe all of these things work together. And since then, really, it's been from one opportunity to another for me personally, right? And the good thing is I've also shared these strategies with other people who have used it and have incredible result as well. As a matter of fact, when my wife finished her study from Canada and she got here as well, I think ours was within 3 weeks as well, less than a month, she got a role as well. Basically using the same, updating our CV, optimizing our LinkedIn profile, doing all of these things strategically, everything that I've listed really, you have to now structure your own plan based on those things, and execute them, carry them out, one after the other. If you're able to do that, trust me, it's only a matter of time. All of these things will turn around. All right, so I hope that I've been able to cover. So maybe the other part I didn't delve in as much would be the global talent part. So, but I think that I'll just leave the rest to questions and answers. Thank you very much.
All right, fantastic. That was really thorough, and that was really thorough. If there's anything, one thing stood out for me is strategy. Have a strategy, right? Fantastic. I think everybody in the and you have a question. We have 2 questions from room, and we're going to be asking questions from there, right? All right, thank you. The first question, is talking about sponsorship, by the way. So, right. And I would just ask the question because it's somebody I've asked. It said, did you, or was it just any jobs you were looking out for?
Was it what?
Was it just any job you were applying for?
No. Okay, no, I wasn't applying for new jobs. I was applying for tech roles. Really, I just wanted to work in tech. And that's another thing. You have to know exactly what you want. I wanted to work in tech. I was tired of just any kind of work, so I was applying strictly to tech roles, and I was applying more particularly to fintech companies as well, right? Yeah. So, and that was what I ended up getting. The role I eventually took was in a fintech company in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, that was my first role. I've since left the place, joined another company as well. Yeah. So, but that was what I was looking for, and that was exactly what I got.
That your visa, the Tech Nation visa, does not need you to have sponsorship, right?
I think you're breaking down.
And you can work because you are a.
Oh, okay. The question was about limitations, right? Okay, so the thing about the global talent visa, okay, maybe let me quickly share on that. So the global talent visa, if you have the global talent visa, you need not to worry about sponsorship. Like, that's one of the beauty of the global talent visa. As a matter of fact, when you are talking to employers and when they hear that you're a global talent, they find you more attractive, because ultimately you don't need their sponsorship, to work for them or work with them. So some of the other benefits of the global talent visa is the fact that you get full access to unlimited high-paying job, global opportunities, earning a strong currency in the UK. That's one. Secondly, is the fact that you can get your permanent residency in the UK after 3 years if you got endorsed as an exceptional talent. And then, of course, after 5 years, if you got endorsed as an exceptional promise. The other thing is that you can also become a British citizen easily after your ILR. The other thing is that, as opposed to other visas, for the global talent visa, you can register and run your business in the UK, legally, right? Another benefit of it is the fact that you can relocate with your family, and they would also share the same tier 1 visa status with you. I am here with my wife. She's also a global talent, and she enjoys the same benefit that I do. The other benefit is the fact that you have job flexibility, which answers the question that was asked. job flexibility, and then you can change employers anytime, like water, literally, and that's the downside to the other visa, which is tied to your employer. So it means that if you have to change, I have, there was a lady that came to me recently, she worked with Amazon, right? And then because of some issues, right, she needed the global talent visa very desperately. Thankfully, she was able to get it, right? And now she's having to change company, right? But imagine if she couldn't get the global talent visa, she will have had to return to Nigeria. So with the global talent visa, you're not tied to an employer, with the other visas, you are tied to an employer. So meaning that if you lose your job, you are going back to Nigeria, except you get another sponsorship. So with the global talent visa, you have job flexibility. You can move to another company. You can increase your salary by moving around as much as possible, right? There's also the fact that it actually has one of the fastest processing timelines. So for instance, if you apply from Nigeria, within 3 weeks, you get response, from Technician, and within 3 weeks, you'll also get your visa, right? So they're just loads and loads, it also doesn't require any special proof of funds. It doesn't require IELTS, there's no cap to the number of visas that are being granted. So it has like literally unlimited benefits. All right, so I'll stop there for now.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Right, so fantastic. The next question, someone is asking, for someone who has over 5 years experience in DevOps engineering jobs, but doesn't meet up with the criteria of working with product-based company, how does he go about it, please? Right.
Okay, fantastic question. Yeah, that's a great question. So for the Global Talent Visa, there are two categories of people that are qualified to apply. There's the technical talent and there's the business talent, right? For the technical talents, those are the guys that are basically technical guys at the core of things, right? So you mean that you probably write codes, as a matter of fact, DevOps is technical anyway. So DevOps is technical. So if you're a DevOps engineer, SysOps engineer, you are into cybersecurity, cloud engineer, software developer, you're actually a technical talent. So as a technical talent, it's not a must that you must have worked for a product-led company. The only people, of course, it can be an added advantage, but actually I have helped people who are technical talents who have no experience working with a product-led company that have gotten endorsed. A lot of them actually, right? So the only people that are required to have experience working for product-led companies or startups are the business talents. So for instance, you're a product manager, you're a product marketer, you're a digital marketer, you are a product designer, like you need to have experience working for a product-led tech company. So as a DevOps engineer that has no experience working for a product-led company, as long as you have good evidence to show that you're a good DevOps engineer, you actually qualify without a product-led experience. Yeah.
All right, fantastic question. And that was very well answered. And I hope you have more lights now on that. So quickly, UK jobs usually ask for salary expectation while applying. What should one put in for someone who has not had a UK job before? Does it matter?
Yeah, it does matter. And I should also warn you that if because of the desperation of the fact that you're looking for a job, you undersell yourself, you'd also lose that job. So I have a classical example of somebody who got into the UK, and then because it was his first time, he was desperate for the job. And then they asked him, he had got to the final stage, they asked him for his salary expectation, and he mentioned a very low amount. And the budget for that role was way higher. So they just thought that he was not qualified. Meanwhile, he's very good at what he does. He lost that job, right? So what you need to do is have a benchmark for what is possible in your industry in the UK, right? So once you have that benchmark, then give or take, decide how much you are willing to take and all of that. You could also ask what I did and what I do when I'm fielding interviews from potential employers, is I like to ask them first what their budget for the role is, right? So if it is up to what I want, then I say, okay, fine, we're good. If it is not, I'll tell them, sorry, this is what I'm looking for. In most cases, they will up their game. And in a few cases, if they can't up their game, it's also a signal for me that that's not the right company to work for. I hope I answered your question. So summary of that is that you should do your research to know the pay range for your role and for your level, right? That's one. Secondly, while having an interview, ask the recruiter. They would always tell you anyway. They would ask you, and if you answer, you might have played into their hands. So when they ask you, you say, "Oh, I'd like to know what the salary range for this role is." So they will tell you what the range is. And if it meets your expectation, then you tell them, "Oh, that's fine for me." If it doesn't, you tell them that, "Oh, you have social experience. This is what you can do. So because of that, you can't take that salary." In most cases, they will come up to your level. Yeah. So that's it.
Thank you very much. We have 10 minutes left for this session. Isaac has been gracious with his time and has taken us through his journey and has shared a lot of tips. Isaac, I will ask if you have that link you spoke about of the session you had, you can share on the chat. A couple of people will find that also useful, right? And while you're doing that, there is a question. Paul is saying, nice presentation. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, Paul. I want to know the financial implications. I want to know the amount this will cost from application to moving. So he's talking about the global talent visa, right? How much it costs you generally. Do you have a rough idea of the amount you spend for end to end before moving?
Well, I could give a rough estimation. It may not be 100% perfect, but I mean, it will give you insights and inkling into what to expect, generally speaking. So when you're applying for the global talent visa, of course, the first thing you do, there are two stages. The first stage is your endorsement. Once you've gotten your endorsement, which will come as an email, you then take that with your other documents to apply for a visa. It's as simple as that. So that's the first and second stage, right? So now for that first stage, you'll be paying £456, £456. That's the amount you get to pay, for the endorsement, right? So and once you've got that, then you move to the next phase, which is you apply for your visa, and then when you apply for a visa, you also have to pay for you've got to pay for IHS, and then you've got to pay for your visa as well. The amount you pay for your visa. So let me just do a rundown. So for the technician application, like I said again, for the endorsement is £456. For the IHS payments, I think that is around. It depends on how many people are traveling with you. I'm not sure exactly.
It's around 640, but it's being reviewed currently.
It's being reviewed now, exactly 640. Okay, good. So 640 as of now, but I know it's been reviewed to like about 1,000 or more. Right? Yeah, good. Then for the visa payment, it's just $219 thereabout as at that time. Then if you're applying from Nigeria, you'd have to do a tuberculosis test, TB test, which is so that time is 50 something thousand naira or 60,000 naira. I don't know how much it is now. Then there's also TLS booking, which is about 50,000 naira. If you are doing VIP, you pay more. Then there is visa booking. Then there is your flight tickets when you're leaving Nigeria. I can't determine that because the rates have gone really high now, And so when you put all of that together, that's for one person. So if you are going with more people, then you have to multiply that, by the number of people that you're going with, basically. So that's pretty much, in a nutshell, give or take, really, what you should be expecting.
All right, thank you. I think it's totally dependent on the individual and the process they want to take, right? They are fixed amount that everybody pays, but depending on what you want. For example, the technician fee itself is about £600 or £4 something, I can't remember. So you have to know those are those are in the technician. So if you're interested in technician, please do yourself a favor and go to technician.io. That's where you want to start from and consume that site, right? Consume that site, write your questions down, and where you are not clear, look for a coach within the eMigr8 network or anybody that has gone through the technician process, and they should be able to shed light on you, and that would help you generally. So please go to technician.io and just read everything that you find there. Right. All right. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you for sharing your link. I'm sure many more people will find that link very useful. All right. Thank you. Also, I think you spoke a lot more than I anticipated in terms of landing a job and the process, strategy, and being confident in again in asking for salary. Don't undersell yourself. Don't be desperate. Also, and I think those are good takeaways for this session that everybody can pick and leverage on this information. And thanks again, everyone, for joining. We have 5 more minutes, but we want to say special thanks to Mr. Isaac for taking his time to join us this evening. Thank you very much. We do hope that when we call you again, you would oblige. I know you're a busy man as a product marketer. There are many things moving in the product roadmaps, launch, go-to-market strategy, and all. But we do hope that you would oblige us with your time one more time, because there are a lot of people that need this information, and a lot of people are, heading in the wrong direction because they don't have this information. All right. So thank you very much. All right. I was just going to thank you, Mr. Isaac. Yeah, I'm just going to share the last 2 slides for this session today, and it speaks to, right, do you need help? We open the chat room for questions, and just in case your question did not make it through today, or you have specific questions that you want to ask, right, that you couldn't put on the chat, please send those questions to the number you can see on this slide, right, and we would reach out to you, right. And you can also join the tech communities that we are building. One of them is the eMigr8 communities. The WhatsApp group, it's a bit closed, but we'll add people because, again, WhatsApp has limitations, right? So join the Telegram group, which is very vibrant. Also, join the LinkedIn group, which is also vibrant, and we can move you. Just request to say you want to be good to the WhatsApp group. And if there's anybody dropping off, either because they've been endorsed or they've moved on, we can add you to the WhatsApp group. All right, thank you. But this you can reach us on this number if you need help across your journey. You can reach us on this number via SMS and WhatsApp also. All right. Speaking about landing a job, speaking about technician routes, you have questions. Like I said, go to technician.io. Isaac shared the link also on the chat, so you can just click on it. It's just a click away. So you can click on it and start reading about the technician endorsement. Remember, the technician endorsement comes first before you go to home office to get your visa, right? So the most important thing is technician endorsement, right? So, and we have coaches that can walk you through, depend on where you are, what stage you are. Even if you've applied and you got rejected and you want to appeal the decision, we have coaches that can review those decisions with you. All right. And speaking about tech career coaching service that we have, open to new opportunity, actively applying for roles. We have ideas, and Isaac did a thorough job, so I'm not going to labor it. But just in case you have further questions, you want further inquiries, right? Beacom.net/tech career coaching, right, is where you want to go to. Right, how to go through technical interview, how to position yourself to be a culture fit, hiring decision, for example, work visa sponsorship for those in skilled worker visa, profile and CV assessment. We have coaches who would help you review those. If you're already in the UK or you're looking to apply for a job from Nigeria into the UK, yes, you can. There are tech experts that have gotten jobs, or tech enthusiasts, developers, back-end developers, front-end developers, DevOps, product managers, digital marketers that have gotten job from Nigeria and they got sponsored into the UK, right? We have coaches with testimonials, and they will be able to put you through. We have people with job UK work experience that can share their experience with you. Also, tech career coaches that can help you, auto job serve. We unpack all these things, what they really mean, and how to navigate them in those sessions, right? So I just wanted to, bring that to your consciousness and also leave you with that for today. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining our open day for the month of July. All right, we look forward to the to the next month. In the month of August, we're going to put out publicity and communication around what we're going to be talking about, and it's going to be on innovator visa. And we will share communication. If you have friends who are founders, they're looking to go into new markets, and the UK market is a viable market where one of the low-hanging fruit is that you can easily raise funding in the UK market as compared to the any markets in Africa. All right, so you have to look at that as a promise of value to move to the UK also. So if you have any founders, somebody building exceptionally awesome product that can fit into the UK ecosystem, right, please let them know that they can join our session for the month of August. We'll be sharing more, giving more updates as the day goes by towards the open day for the month of August. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you to the team at eMigr8, Chisom, and for making this possible today. Thank you, everyone, for joining our session. Do have a lovely day. Thank you. And you can join any of the conversation continues in the chat rooms of the community. So it's not goodbye and we'll leave you to your application, but you can join, use the link to join the LinkedIn, join what's it called now, the Telegram group, and the conversation continues in those chat room. And also we have a lot of materials on YouTube too that you can benefit from. So it's not goodbye, we'll hear from you again, but goodbye, but let's continue the conversation in the chat groups. Thank you very much. Have a good day.